and brotherhood for all will turn the record.
Salutations, Source Hunter. I shall be very glad to share what information I can give you. By all means. Should you travel there, please do check if my legionnaires are still alive. My legionnaires, they all perished? How fate has treated them wantonly. And if it weren't for you, the archaeologist would surely have died as well.
Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
Oh, what now? Oh, if you must. We are the pride of Rivellon, to be found and to be seen everywhere. We don't hide in the dark and lurk in corners like some I could mention. No, we protect the civilized from the barbaric. Bravo! Figured that one out, did you? I haven't been stuck here for 2 years because we're being besieged. That's enough of that now! Oh!
Ah, hello. I suppose you're here to viciously interrogate me for information I don't have, like our noble Captain Aureus before you. I am the Duke of Ferrell, though I suppose my name is in the mouths of enough ruthless gossipers that you've heard of me by now. Yes, she and I have a history. That's hardly a secret anymore. I quite doubt it was even a secret from Jake while he lived. As easy as it would be to pin suspicions on Esmeralda or I assure you that the affair was never so steamy and sordid as the busybodies around town make it out to be. Jake and Esmeralda had no great affection for each other. He had his interests, she had hers, and there was little passion left between them. Certainly not enough to fuel a murder. It's very tragic news. I won't posture and say that the Chancellor and I were anything near allies, but I truly never wish the man harm.
A source hunter? I'd like to report some dark magic. Only tainted hearts could tip as miserably as this lot. Been at the King Crab nearly 10 years now, personally. Seen every character you can imagine, from bums to wizards, passed through these doors for a pint and a place to rest. I think I'm one of the last folks to hear him alive. That awful scream has been ringing in my ears ever since. And with the room where it all happened still under quarantine, we've a constant reminder of exactly what happened. Though that's the question, isn't it? What exactly did happen? We all thought it was Esmeralda who checked into that room, and the Duke that followed her in. I was washing up and nudging the last of the lushes out of the door when a cloaked woman rushed in right past me. I never got a good look at her, damn my eyes, but I figured the way she disappeared that she was visiting one of the lodgers. Lucky for the perpetrators, I was rinsing bottles in the back when the terrible deed took place and saw nothing more. I'm not proud to say I ducked under the counter and damn well stayed there till I heard Ivad fling that door open, but I was paralyzed with fright.
welcome be, my friend. Waitress, another round of beers, if you please. I'm an archaeologist and connoisseur of the undead. Because of my expertise, Lieutenant Selenia, a commander of the Legion in Sicile, quite so. I live for the dead, so to speak. The combination of zombies are the results of vile necromancy in action. Should you encounter these menaces, always try to pick them off from afar. These ones in particular. Be that as it may, Brachus's soldiers stalk these lands and... Oh, and don't be surprised if the dead use an unusual...
A source hunter? I'd like to report some dark magic. Only...
Timbladorix! That! Ha! Quite under my spell, aren't you? Yes, my enfriending charm never fails. Me? You mean you don't recognize me? Well, you must live under a very large, very heavy rock, for I'm the finest wizard in Rivendell. Yes, that is strange. Strange indeed. But it's a strange world we live in, isn't it? A strange and magical world, full of wonders and regionis regentum. Oh, you'll find out. You'll find out indeed. If I'm as good as they say I am, you'll have sprouted a pair of long purple ears in the next hour. Ah, how I do love a tasty aubergine in summertime.
Hearty welcome to the King Crab Inn, and a pleasure to have you. You look like you could use a round or three, so what'll it be? Have a seat and stay a while. The name's Ivad. Pleased to make your acquaintance. I've been offering the weary travellers of Sicile drink and rest for nearly 2 decades now, but the King Crab's older than that by a long shot. All you see before you is the manifestation of my great-grandpappy Horatius Dungeness's noble vision. Beer and naps for everyone. No questions asked. Well, between you and me, things have been rather slow since the, incident. But with spirits high and liquor flowing like it is tonight, it seems the crab may just come out of that pinch. Psst. Mind if we keep our voices down over that sensitive subject? Death and dark magic ain't exactly great for business, you know. That room where it happened, it was rented to a certain woman, though I regret to say I can't say exactly who. This inn isn't in the business of asking many questions, if you know what I mean. She came heavily cloaked, but paid the full sum in advance. I was used to such transactions after many similar concerning a certain Esmeralda. Figured this were just more at same. I saw one other figure go into the room that night. Someone tall, built broad like a man, but shrouded the same as she. Again, standard practice for Mrs. Counsellor and her visitors. I was startled awake by a horrendous hubbub shortly after midnight. I jumped up and grabbed me grandpappy's machete, bleary-eyed and awash in fright. By the time I burst into that room, it was horribly silent. There was only Jake on the floor, dead, surrounded by what may as well have been a battlefield. Whoever done it has escaped through the window, but I saw nary a soul when I looked out. You can bet I hightailed it to the Legion barracks faster than a jackrabbit after that. Counsellor Jake, that poor man. I knew too much about his affairs, you know. Never figured it my business to say anything, but after all that's happened, I wonder if that weren't a grave mistake. Esmeralda's longest-standing lover has the audacity to remain lodged at this very inn, you know? He's called the Duke of Ferrol, a high title for a low man. If you haven't yet asked him about Esmeralda, I'd recommend it.
Greetings, greetings. Oh, you are most welcome in my chamber. Customers rarely find me up here, but I do so abhor the hustle and bustle of the marketplace. That I am. I have spent more of my life on the road travelling alongside great caravans than I have in any given place in Rivellon. All of this earth is my home, for a few days or even but a few hours at a time, that is. You wouldn't believe some of the things I have seen. Oh yes, a city besieged by the dead isn't even remotely special to me. All the better that it isn't. For you and for me, because outlandish events lead to outlandish wares. Oh, but let us not discuss. Let us browse and barter.
Maybe I'll jump to do.
Folks say it was Esmeralda who killed Councillor Jake, but I didn't see her here the night of the murder. Then again, she might have just gotten a new pair of shoes. This will is disgusting. The folks in Hunter's Edge make the best whiskey in Rivellon.
Careful now, that's a trap.
If only the popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous you've become.
Never saw you in the king crab before. You're welcome to scratch me behind the ears if you like. I won't scratch back. I am Unsinkable Sam. At least that's what they call me around here. Used to be a ship's cat, but the clipper I was on sank, and I was the only one to wrestle himself free from the waves. The people here were kind and took me in. Been the king crab's foremost patron ever since. A magnificent ship she was. Used to belong to a pirate, I was told. Unlike me, she didn't prove to be unsinkable, though. We hit the cliffs right neath the lighthouse. Not very apt a name for that building, I must say, for no light was shining from it. The moment I hit the water, I writhed around like I would on a hot tin roof. By some miracle, I managed to reach the beach, covered in kelp and smelling worse than a fish's funeral parlor. But I was alive. And that was more than anybody else could say. So I was. What friends I had. They drowned alongside the rats I used to hunt in the galley. And there I was, all alone. Not that I have it bad here, mind you. I've milk and fish aplenty. Most folks will pet me kindly, and when one of the village girls holds me tight against her ample bosom, I purr up a storm. But I do long for a companion of my own kind. And in that regard, there is no one like Maxine. Maxine, the mayor's darling pet. So gentle, so fair a feline. The grace of her whiskers, the subtle palette of dyes in her sable coat. She's one of a kind, that cat. She likes me. I know she does. But when I declare my love, she backs away. I don't know why. I have serenaded her and braved many a bucket of water for my efforts. But for some reason, she is not to be swayed. By all means. People make a fuss about them because they endanger the lands around the city. They never bother me when I'm out for my monthly walk, though. But still, I do detest them. I mean, they're so unnatural, aren't they? Cats can have 9 lives, but humans are only entitled to 1. Oh, don't mention orcs to me. Worse than dogs, that lot. Sank Walrus Willie's boat right from under him. Best anchovy fisher in the world he was. A loss to us all.
That purr in the sound. Mind control vibrations, I'm sure. Don't be seduced, comrades.
That cat is a miracle of creation. Don't you dare befoul it with your moronic delusions.
golly gosh. One who flaunts the highways and byways of silly old Sicile with the easy elegance of a puss with her tail in the air. I do declare such a sight is rather rare around here. But where are my manners? I am Maxine, and you must be one of those hunters one hears so much about. Charmed, I'm sure. Oh, he's a darling old Tom, isn't he? Paws over tails in love with me, and who can blame him? The feeling's, well, it's rather mutual, actually. But that pet of a puss simply doesn't have a penny to his name. At the risk of sounding as shallow as a spaniel, I can't but admit my love does not come unconditionally. What if we were to have kittens, he and I? They'd jolly well starve, wouldn't they, with an alley cat for a papa? Oh, dear Sam, he's such a good old bean. But he does rather reside at the bottom of the scratching pole, doesn't he? And dear me, one must have at least a mite of standards.
Ah, cats. Such beauty, such grace they have. Magnificence incarnate.
Slinking charlatans, more like. I wouldn't trust that as far as I could throw.
What can I do for you, Source Hunter? Good. No use in standing about.
I think I'll sleep by the fire tonight, once the regulars stagger home. Aye, so there's the rub. I am but a stray, and she is the mayor's cat. Oh, I do understand her, I do. She wants a Tom of means, not privation. One who brings home the sardines and the occasional halibut. Would that I still had my collar. Such a marvel it was, as bejeweled as the night sky with precious stones, said to have once been worn by a far-off Maharaja's best hunting cheater. Like the king of all cats I looked when I wore it. A gift bestowed upon me by a princess whom I had kept company during a long and perilous voyage. A precious band of gemstones, lost as I was tossed around by the waves like a ball in a game of catch. Among the waves it remains, I imagine. Worn perhaps by a crab who fancies himself a Caesar with it. If only I could be the Caesar again, and Maxine my Caesarina. By all means. I am Unsinkable Sam. At least that's what they call me around here. So I was. What? Not that I have it bad here, mind you. A magnificent ship she was. Used to belong to a pirate. The moment I hit the water, I writhe by all means. People make a fuss about them because they endanger the lands. Oh, don't...
Careful, I've spotted a trap.
demise. Need to get up to speed.
I'm never out of my element.
Magical armor always fits perfectly.
I'm tripping. Looks like more of the Legionnaires sent to investigate the lighthouse.
Stay sharp, or we'll end up the same.
Unless you're prepared to face the strongest ghost alive. Well, alive.
Another one for the collection.
Folks, having a bully day? I'm having a bully day. Pushing, pulling, lifting. Look at them muscles, huh? Just like my days at the fair. Now used to sail the 7 seas with the best of them. Better than the best of them. But found my true calling at the county fair. The strongest man in Scythiel I was, and they built me as such. Now those were swell times. How people marveled at my feats of strength. Boy, was I the cat's pajamas back then. Anyone could go up against me in a grand old bare-knuckle jamboree, but did they ever back me? Baloney. Now, I'm not a violent guy. Don't get me wrong. Make no mistake. But you know there's no harm in a little roughhousing now and again, putting on a show for the roaring crowd. Plenty challenged me in those days, but none managed to best Snorri. Nope, sir. But you know there's no harm in a little rough. Scrawny against brawny. Could have been a nice title fight at the fair. I'm gonna summon an item. Something only Snorri himself could smash. And if you can manage to break it in 35 seconds, you'll have won the challenge. Go get noodle arms. Soft, what are you made of?
To face the strongest...
Ugh, I'm dripping.